Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. We're excited to have one of our partners, Mark Hamlin from Insightworks with us, and Mark will be presenting on end-to-end solutions for distribution and manufacturing. And as a reminder, we are recording this webinar and we will post it to our on-demand webinar library for you to review again or share with anyone. And we encourage you to ask questions during our presentation, so please feel free to type them into the questions box and we will get them answered during our Q&A time at the end of our session. So now I will turn it over to Mark to kick off our presentation.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Today, as I mentioned, we're going to go through a few of the solutions available for Business Central if you're in manufacturing and distribution, or ideally if you're in both, you do some manufacturing, and of course you need to get your product out the door. So that's what we're going to look at today. So first thing here, a little bit about Insightworks. We've been around for about 10 years now. And we didn't really start selling some of the solutions you're going to see today until, sort of the 2013 time frame. But since then, we've got, tens of thousands of people logging in and out of these things on a daily basis. We're based up in Canada, but we work through Innovia to deliver all of these solutions. So if you have any questions after this, feel free to contact Innovia. They'll be able to help you out with those questions. All right. Now with that, a little bit about what we do, right? So we have solutions, which I'll show you in a sec, that cover really the full gamut of manufacturing and distribution requirements, little things that Business Central doesn't do, for, production scheduling or warehouse management, those types of things where there's some capability, but it just doesn't, really meet the needs of, the real world. So we've got solutions in all of these different areas, but what we're going to focus on today really is sort of the WMS, the manufacturing, and a little bit on the shipping side as well. And the way we address those areas within the facility is really through the applications that we have available. Now, these are available for NAV, so NAV 2013, all the way up to Business Central and Business Central Cloud. I'll point out a couple of the solutions we'll be looking at today, which are really Business Central only. But if you do have an older version of NAV, we can probably help you out with that as well. Now, the way we address those, key things that I talked about earlier, which is sort of the WMS, the manufacturing, and the shipping, are these applications that are highlighted here. Now, I'm not going to get into all of these. If you have questions about these, again, contact Innovia. They'll be able to help you out. We're going to focus on just a few of these throughout the presentation. But one set of applications I wanted to bring attention to, oops, for some reason it skipped that, were these ones at the bottom here. So these are the free applications that are available if you're on Business Central Cloud. So this bottom row here is really all the free apps that are available. And when I say free, I mean free. You go to AppSource or you have Innovia help you out. You can install it. There's no registration or anything required. And you get a free warehouse management solution. You get free graphical scheduling, cloud printing, the ability to create your own reports with barcodes and things like that on it, and the ability to drag and drop documents into Business Central and have them stored in Business Central or in SharePoint. So all of those things really help a lot. And again, you can plug them into your existing system with no real effort at all. All right, with that, that's a little bit about what we have. We're going to jump in and start having a look at how these things work. So what I'll be doing is I'll be doing the presentation within our Business Central Cloud environment. And we're going to kind of go through, sort of a day in the life of an organization, right? Various people. So, typically what's going to happen, we're going to do some receiving, and then once we've got the product in stock, we're going to, try and sell it or manufacture finished goods out of the components we received, and then we're going to ship it out the door. So that's kind of the flow we're going to look at today. So the first thing we're going to start with is a little bit on the warehouse management side, the ability to be able to receive and manage product coming in the door, and also potentially, manage the manufacturing process from those handhelds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up this screen right here. And what you see here on the screen, that's actually a little scanner that I have in my hand. It's called a Memoir-K, and it's running our WMS Express product. And again, this is that free tool, free warehouse management solution tool that is available for you on AppSource. And the free version compared to the paid version has, somewhat limited functionality, but it handles the core capabilities of the warehouse, which is receiving, picking or shipping, bin-to-bin movements, and inventory counts. So if that's what you need, which most people do, this will do everything for you. And just to give you an idea of what this device actually looks like, I'm just going to flip over and show my webcam here. So now you can actually see this device in my hand. So this is a little guy. You can sort of see that dot on the screen is my finger. So this is the device I'll be using to scan barcodes. It's got a little camera, all that kind of stuff. And of course, you can use the full-blown, rugged warehouse screen. Oops, I tapped something on that screen with my hand. And this is running the full warehouse insight. So, you can see it's got a lot more capabilities than the WMS Express, but, basically the same for those core functions. So that's the device I'll be using to do the scanning. And the barcodes that I'll be scanning are actually generated from our barcode generator tool, which is that free tool available for AppSource. And these are these data matrix codes. There's a report that will allow you to generate, sort of sample barcodes and things like that. Really any format you want, so you can have all sorts of formats for those barcodes. So that's kind of what I'll be doing when I'm scanning. So now just to save me from getting distracted by the webcam, I'm going to turn that off, and we're going to look at just the screen. So we'll go through that scenario where I'm going to receive something. So I've gone in, I've installed WMS Express into Business Central through AppSource. Once that's done, I scan a couple of barcodes from my handheld device, and I'm logged in and I'm ready to go. Now, product arrives at the back door, so I go into receiving. So I'm just going to tap that, and it gives me a list of all the purchase orders in the system I can receive against. And I haven't done anything special in Business Central. These are just my purchase orders that I have available. And we'll support purchase orders, we'll support inventory putaways, and we'll support warehouse receipts. So it doesn't matter how you have Business Central set up. We can handle that configuration from within Express. And then what I do is I just say, I can come in here and choose one of these just using the little arrow keys on my scanner or tapping the screen, or I can come in and type the purchase order number in at the top here, or I could scan a barcode of one of the items that I've received, and it will, filter this list down to the purchase order that I need to receive against, all sorts of things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this first purchase order in the list here, and it's got a few different items I need to receive. Now, if you have bins enabled and things like that, like if you're using inventory putaways, or if you're receiving on purchase orders with bins, you might see the bin column in here and have to scan the bins and those sorts of things. In my case, I'm just going to scan the items that are coming off this PO to receive them. If I did want to see something like the bin code field or any of those other columns, I can tap the screen and say choose columns, and that will allow me to go in and choose any additional information I want to show on any of these screens. So if I did want to see the bin code or the variant code or any of those other things, I could make them visible right here on the device. Now, back to sort of what we really want to do is, I've come in and I now need to start receiving this stuff. The ideal situation is your vendor has barcoded everything for you. And we don't care what's in that barcode. That can be a UPC code, it can be a custom vendor barcode, it could be your own special barcode format. We don't care. We'll read whatever information is in that barcode into the scanner. So that it can include item number, lot number, serial number, variant code, quantity, unit of measure, expiration date, all of those things you could have in that barcode, and we can read it out. Now, let's say all the stuff comes in, you do want to be able to scan it because later on you want to be able to count it or ship it or something like that, but there are no barcodes on it. Well, what you do is you can come in here, you can hit print, and you can have your own custom label format in Business Central. When I hit print, that's going to print out labels for the line I have selected or everything on that PO. Or you can change this to reprint a copy of the purchase order or whatever you want to do. So you can actually print right from the handheld device as well if you want. So what it will do is it'll print on whatever printer is associated with this device. And what it's printing is that report that's defined in Business Central. And there you would use our barcode generator tool and our cloud printing connector to enable that functionality. And again, those are both free tools that you can use. Now back to receiving. Let's say everything's barcoded, whether I've done it manually or the vendor's done it. At this point, all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of the boxes that I have in front of me, and I'm going to scan a barcode to start receiving. So just so you know, I'll scan this 1968-S barcode here. I don't have to know what it is that I'm scanning. I'm just going to grab a box out of the pallet or whatever, scan the barcode. It's going to find it for me, optionally show me a picture of that item. And that's handy if you're doing your own barcoding, because if I've got a banana in my hand and the thing shows a chair, I know I've got a problem with the barcode or the fact that I'm standing there with a banana in my hand. At any rate, I scan the barcode, can option show me the picture for that visual verification of that product. And now I just simply enter the quantity I found. So maybe in that box I found 5. So enter 5. And what it's done is it's updated Business Central with that quantity already. It's all real time. There's no batch uploads. There's no integration. None of that. Scan the barcode and I'm done. It's updated Business Central. And then maybe later on in a second or third box or pallet, I find more of those 1968s. Again, I scan it. I don't have to know, again, what it is. I don't have to have the line selected. And now let's say I found another 5 in this next box. And when I do that, it just keeps updating Business Central with that quantity and tells me how many I have left to find. So pretty simple. Scan a barcode, optionally enter a quantity, and we're done, right? So when they say optionally enter a quantity, if I receive something and it's the full quantity, like that 1928-S guy down at the bottom there, I simply scan, oops, my thumb tapped the home button there. I simply scan the barcode. Again, it pops up the picture, or I can hide that picture, then hit enter because I've got all 5, and I'm done. I've received. That's basically it. Now, there's a few other options we can do here. You can hide completed, so that means as I'm receiving this, if I tap that, anything that I've fully received just falls off the screen, so this list just gets shorter and shorter. And when I'm done receiving, I can actually post this receipt right from the handheld device. And what that means is I don't have to hand in a piece of paper for somebody in the office to type in the quantities and post it and all that kind of stuff. I'm doing everything here from this handheld device. And when I say handheld device, I mean I am using that Memory, but you can run this on a tablet or whatever you want in the back, and away you go. You can even run it on a phone if you like. The way I've got this set up, I've actually enabled the camera, and the camera allows me to, use the device's camera to do the barcode scanning versus having a dedicated barcode scanning device. Now, you really do want a dedicated barcode scanning device because you saw how quick and easy it was to scan a barcode there. It's just a quick beep and away you go. But if you did want to use the camera, you turn it on and then you've got this little icon you can drag around the screen, stick it where your thumb normally goes. And when I tap that, of course, it's going to launch the camera barcode scanner, and I can scan the barcodes with the camera. And it's going to yell at me because I scanned a barcode it doesn't recognize. And so what it does, if I did scan a barcode it doesn't recognize while I'm receiving, it says, hey, let's build up a cross-reference for you automatically. And it'll ask me which barcode this item matches. When I choose that item, it'll now, every time I scan this barcode, it'll cross-reference to that item. So there's a whole bunch of things you can do there. But anyway, it'll do camera scanning or, the actual barcode scanning. Just as a side note, again, the camera is handy for testing and things like that, but in a real environment, you want a dedicated barcode scanner. These Memory guys here are under $600, rugged, built-in scanner, built-in camera, all that kind of stuff. They're really the way to go. All right, so that's basically it. Now, back to our sort of day in the life scenario. The receivers come in, they've received a bunch of product, it's now in stock, and now I'm going to, want to go out and sell that product and maybe schedule production to produce finished goods and those sorts of things. We may come back to this to do some shipping or inventory counts, but for now, I'm done on the handheld scanner. So now within Business Central, we've got somebody in the office that needs to actually come in here and do some order entry. So what do we do there? I'll just well, you know what, let's create a new one for fun. So they'll come in, they'll create a new sales order, and I only wanted to show a couple of quick little things here on the order entry side, right? So we come in and we'll enter in a customer number or name here, and over here I'll just mention the doc extender. Customer emails you and they've got a purchase order in the email, or they've got a drawing attachment they want you to build, or anything like that. Right from my Outlook or from the file system, the file folder, I can just drag and drop anything here into doc extender, and it'll attach it right in Business Central, or it'll create a link to that file within SharePoint, so we can drop it in SharePoint. And the nice thing about having it in SharePoint is you can do all sorts of fun stuff with that, right? As soon as you drop it in SharePoint, you can kick off a Power Automate flow that, can text somebody, publish something to Twitter, and whatever the heck you want to do based on whatever document you've dropped. Okay, so there's all sorts of things we can do with that. So that's the sort of, document management capability. And this works anywhere in Business Central where we have those attachments. So that's purchase orders, sales orders, customers, items, all of those sorts of things. Now, I've dropped the customer's purchase order in there, and now I'm going to try and sell them something. But maybe this is a configured item. This is not something that I normally stock. And so what I have the ability to do is go in there and actually build that item up from a set of options, right? So we have something called a configurator that allows me to design that bill of materials on the fly, right? I can design that product on the fly. So if I open that guy up, I can come in here and let's say, we're going to build him a mountain bike. So this is all the different types of product I sell. And for fun, we're just going to do a bike for this. So it comes in and says, okay, these are all the things that you can choose to build your mountain bike. And I've got standard handlebars, and if I choose those, great. We've got a quantity of 1 standard handlebars. It doesn't add anything to the cost if it's a standard handlebar, but we do have a base cost of this product of $1,200. And then when I come into the seat, I'm going to do the fancy seat, and you'll notice that adds some price, some cost to this, and so on and so forth. I can come in and add all sorts of options here on on this configuration. And the nice thing about this is going to build up a product with all the BOM components required, all the routing steps required, and everything to manufacture this specific product. So when I do that, it's going to create it. It's going to create the BOM and the routing for me, either sales order specific BOM and routing, or it can be a standard product that I can now reuse this for future sales, or if I sell this to this customer again 7 times, I can just reuse that. So we can have, a order specific BOM and routing, or we can have a sort of standard one that gets manufactured. And just a quick, illustration of what this thing built. If I come back in here and I show what this built, so all I did there was I chose those 4 items, four choices in those options, and we're going to just look at the structure of what was actually created in this thing. Oh, okay, for some reason it's not showing me the item structure there, but what it will do is it'll build up that full BOM and routing and everything I need to manufacture that particular product. And it looks like my Business Central is complaining about something, which is okay. It's a little weird, but so that's basically it. I can come in, I can, when I'm doing that sales order entry, we can, create those attachments. We can create the custom BOM and routing automatically. And then when we go to, send this, we've got the standard capability within Business Central to send it. But if I need to print a pick order, or a pick ticket or an order confirmation or anything else, that's where the cloud printing capability that we have comes into play. Because if I hit print, I choose one of these things to print, you can set it up so that you can use any one of your local printers, right? So any of these printers that I have set up, it'll automatically print to. So I can choose it here, but if it's set up to do it automatically, I can hit a print button, and I can have a packing slip go to one printer, an invoice go to another printer, and pick ticket go to a 3rd printer, all of those sorts of things. And that's using our print node connector, which is a cloud printing capability, right? So really several things there that aid with order entry, the document management, the configuration capability, and even the printing side of things as well. Now, let's say I've entered this order. This is a manufactured item, and as I said, it's built the BOM and the routing. So let's just open the item card. I don't know why it was complaining at us before, but we're going to go in and look at what the thing actually built. So when I chose those 4 options on that configuration, this is the end result. This is what it built for me, right? So it built this nice thing with the description, and it's come in and it's added in all the labor, all the components, and everything I need in order to manufacture this particular product. Now, from here, you'll want to run MRP and planning and everything like that on it. And we have a number of tools that can help you there as well, like an enhanced planning worksheet and scheduling and all those sorts of things. I'm not going to go through that today. That's a more in-depth topic. But what I'm going to do now, after I've created that item and I've run MRP or run the planning, I now need to schedule this thing, right? I need to get this out in the shop floor and see how that looks. So one of the ways we can do that is with our graphical scheduler. So if I go into the graphical scheduler here, what this is going to do, I'm using my default view, we call it, and this is showing me all the production orders that I have set up in my system for whatever time frame I've defined. So you can come in here and change your date, range, and your zoom level and all that kind of stuff. But what I've got is I've got a bunch of production orders shown here, and I think blue I've set up to be released, and yellow is firm planned, and that sort of thing. So you can change colors based on the state of the production order, so you can turn it red if it's late or whatever you want to do. And so this shows me, all the production orders I have in the system. I can drag and drop, like I said, I can zoom out, zoom in, and all the different work centers and machine centers that I have projects or products scheduled on. Okay, so, and the nice thing about this is I can actually drag and drop. I can take this and I can drag and drop these things around. If I wanted to move this specific operation onto a different machine or move it out in time, all of that sort of thing, you can actually drag and drop your schedule from within here. And those views, just to show you what that looks like, you can create as many different views as you like, and you can plot almost any data you want on here. So if I wanted to show sales order ship dates on this chart, I could do that as well. I could show that on the same chart as what I show the production orders on, right? So you can have multiple different data sources. So let's see what that looks like just very briefly. So some general stuff, here, and here you can list anything you like. So I could list, sales orders on here, jobs on here, warehouse shipments, whatever I want, and it'll all plot on that same chart. And then I can come in and set whatever colors I want. So for example, if something is late, I can come in here and say, if it's late, right, that's my filter, turn it red, and we can actually make those changes to the colors on the screen to sort of give you a bit of a dashboard as to what's going on with your planning. And then of course, from here, I can drill down, I can choose any of these, hit details to load the production order, or come in and look at any of the other details associated with what I have selected. So nice little tool for helping you manage your production schedule. All right, so again, I've received the product through the handheld device using the free WMS Express. Sometime later, somebody in the office has gone in and they've needed to enter an order. So they've maybe dropped a PO from the email into the sales order using Doc Extender, which is free. They've used the configurator to build up their BOM and routing potentially. They've used the free Cloud Print connector to print out any documentation and things like that they need for manufacturing or shop floor or picking, all those sorts of things. And then we might send those production orders out into the warehouse. And in the warehouse, again, you might use the handheld devices to actually go out there and pick the product for those specific orders that you've created. So what I'll do is I'll come in here. Just need to find the screen, and I'm going to show the handheld device again. So I can come in here. I'm going to open up the ship. This would be picking for sales orders, and then I can find the sales order I actually need to pick to get out the door. And again, I load it up and it tells me these are all the products I need to go out and pick for that particular order. And exactly the same as anything else, I simply walk out there and I scan, the barcodes of all the products that I need to pick. Or if you don't have barcodes, I can just use the arrow keys on here, come in, hit enter on that particular product. Maybe it doesn't have a barcode. I pick 2 of it, and that's it. I've now picked that product. It's updated Business Central in real time with that. And again, I'm doing this on a sales order, but this could be for a production order as well. It could be, for a warehouse shipment or whatever you want to do with that. Okay, so that's the picking side, almost exactly the same as the receiving side. Again, if I had bins enabled in this location, I would scan the bin to verify that, scan the item, and enter the quantity. So very quick and easy to be able to now go out in the warehouse, pick your product for production or for shipping, and indicate in Business Central that it's being completed. Now let's say it was for production. I picked all that product, I dropped it off at the production area, and now what we want to do is record what we've actually done in production. So to do that, what an employee will do is they'll walk up to a terminal, or they might have a terminal right beside their work center, and they're going to start recording what they're actually working on, because we want that real-time feedback into Business Central as to what people are doing in the shop floor, what they're working on, what the progress of your production is. So in order to do that, they'll walk up to a terminal running Shop Floor Insight, and this is just running in the browser. So this is our product called Shop Floor Insight, which is really a manufacturing execution system. It allows us to capture anything that's going on in the shop floor. So now I've picked all this product, I've dropped it off at production, they're about to start production. So what do? The employee goes to his terminal or shared terminal in the shop, scans his ID to unlock the screen. So I have an ID badge, right? So it's printed out of Business Central, just a barcode that you can, put in a clip-on badge holder. He can scan that to identify himself, and it unlocks the terminal under his specific ID. Now, we can also do group logins if you have a supervisor managing a group, and we can also log in as a work center or machine center, those types of things. But in this case, I scan my ID badge to unlock the screen, and then I'm going to scan what I'm actually going to be working on. So again, the picker went and picked a bunch of stuff, dropped off at my feet, and I've got the barcode on the pick ticket or the production traveler, and I scan that barcode, and it says, okay, this is what I'm working on, this particular activity, and it happens to be bike. And I've now clocked on and started on that work. So now people in Business Central know exactly who's working on this, when they started, all of those sorts of things. And we have that data historically as well. So if there's a warranty issue with this particular product or a quality issue down the road, we know exactly who was working on it and when they did it. Now over here, it gives me my bill of materials. So if all of the stuff was picked, I can come in here and I can manually consume it if I like, or you can back flush, or I can use this to record additional scrap. So I may have already back flushed all of this product, right? There's 0 remaining of these guys here, but I can go in there and scrap some of that component as well if I like. Down here, we've got work instructions. So it'll tell me what I need to do to perform this activity. And if you like, we've got these links. These links are assembly diagrams or quality sheets or whatever you want to link to the item or the production order. And guess how you link those things into the item or production order? You drag and drop them into Doc Extender. It attaches them in Business Central, and these are just the links right out of Business Central. Now, you don't have to use Doc Extender if you don't want, but all of this information that you see here is coming from Business Central in real time. There's nothing special you need to do, right? As long as you're using Business Central, you plug this in, I scan a barcode out on the shop floor, and I'm able to start tracking my time against it. Now, let's say I started this. Now I wander off to do my work. I'm going to scan my badge again just to lock the screen. You don't have to. It'll lock itself after X number of seconds, whatever you set that to. But now I've scanned my badge and I've gone out and I'm doing my work. An hour goes by, I come back, and I'm going to record that I've completed that activity. So I scan my badge to unlock the screen again, and then I scan the next thing that I'm working on. And in this case, I scan a non-productive code. Those could be things like waiting for work or toolbox meetings or anything you like. But this allows me to capture, any additional time on the shop floor that maybe today you have no idea what's going on, right? And it automatically calculates that elapsed time from the time I clocked in to the time I clocked out. I can also set it up so I can manually type in that time. So if you just want people to scan the production order once and type in how much time they spent on it, you can do that as well. Now you might be saying, well, we don't want to scan barcodes to record time because we don't have paper on the shop floor. That's great. Ideally, you have some kind of barcode that identifies the product that you're working on or something, or drawing. If you have that, ideally scan that. But if you don't, here's another way I can do it. I can type in my ID or scan a badge, as I just did, for a different employee, and they don't see their time card to start with by default. What they see is a dispatch list. And this gives them a list of items to choose from to clock in to start work. And I can filter this, I can do a search, so I can just come in here and type in a production order number or job number or whatever you like to, log into that specific production activity. So if you don't want to use barcodes, no problem. I open up the screen, I can manually search for something or just click on one of these, or if you're using a touch screen, tap on it, tap clock on, and I can start that work the same way. Okay, so you don't need barcodes, but barcodes are nice and easy. It's like the Roadrunner cartoons. Beep, beep, and I run off when I do my work. Okay, so that's a little bit on the production management. There's a whole bunch of more stuff we can do in here, quality inspections. There's also, the graphical scheduling capability available right in the shop floor client for people to look at, a whole bunch of other things. But the basics are, somebody's picked the product with the handhelds, they've dropped it off, and I can scan that to record the time against those activities. Great, I've done that. I can now come in and record what I've produced for that particular production order. Or if you're using the Warehouse Insight, which is the big WMS that we have, I can also use a handheld device to record the production output. Or if you're using WMS Express and you're using inventory putaways, I can also use the handhelds to record the production activities we've actually completed. Whichever way I do it, right from the shop floor, I can say, yes, I've completed these items. They are ready to go. Now what happens? Well, you probably have another pick ticket to take those over to shipping. But once they get over to shipping, or maybe just the production guys drop them off at shipping. Now, once it gets to shipping, I need to get these products out the door. And there's really two ways of doing that. One is, again, I could go right on the handheld, and I can do my shipping pretty much right from the handheld device. So let me bring that screen up again. So right from the handheld device, I can come in, hit ship, and I can go in and I can post my sales order shipments and all those sorts of things. If you need to get things like UPS labels and FedEx labels, though, one of the things you may want to look at is the product called Dynamic Ship. And what Dynamic Ship does is it eliminates the need for you to use the carrier-specific software. And that means I don't have to use UPS World Ship. I don't have to go to the USPS website. I don't have to use Ship Manager. I just do everything inside Business Central. And the way that works, there's a couple of different things we can do for doing that packaging. But I'm going to go into the package worksheet to start. And this is where, if you have a station out there today that's running World Ship or Ship Manager or something like that, this will be what's running on that station. So World Ship and all that, you basically don't need to touch again. Everything you do is basically from this screen. And so the way it works, a picker or the production person, they've dropped off all of my, product that I need to ship and a document indicating, which order this is for. So great. All I do is I scan the order, the barcode on the document to bring up the order I actually want to ship. And I'm going to show you two different ways of doing this. The first way is a very simple order where it's going to be one item and it's always goes in the same size box, or it's a prepackaged box, and I already know how I'm going to ship it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scan this barcode. This is the order number that I'm bringing up. And when it does that, it brings up the order, a bunch of information like I'm supposed to ship at UPS, right? This came in off the website, or the order entry person entered that, and it tells me where I'm supposed to ship it to, and any additional shipping comments, those types of things. So great. Brought up the order, tells me what I need to package and ship. I just visually verify that's the right item. And now I want to get my UPS label, right? Because again, we're shipping at UPS. So to do that, all I do is I scan another barcode, and these are commands. What I'm scanning there is a command. I could do all of that from the menus as well. But if you have a cheat sheet, of 5 or 6 different, commands that you regularly use, that's way easier. I just go beep, beep, and I'm done. Now, what it's doing right now is it went out to UPS, and the UPS test server takes a little longer. In real life, that's usually about 1 or 2 seconds to go out and retrieve the label. But what it did was it went out and it retrieved my label for me, my shipping label. And what it's got here is, basically my UPS label, sample label, of course, with the tracking number and everything else on it. So all I had to do was, beep on the order, beep, give me my label, and outprints a label on the printer beside me. And again, to simplify the printing, you'd use our Cloud Print connector. But if you're running it in the browser, you can run your browser in kiosk mode. And anyway, at any rate, this will automatically just print out on the printer beside you. You slap it on the box, and out the door it goes, right? So pretty simple to get that shipping label. But we did more. Wait, there's more, as they say in late night TV ads. We also went out and sent an email to the customer. So if I log into my Gmail account as if I'm the customer waiting for the shipment, hey, we've got this nice little email here that says, your stuff's on the way, this is how we ship it, all that sort of thing. The content of this email can be whatever you like. So you can have, embed the packing slip in here as an ASN, as the body of the email. You can put whatever you want there, and that can be per customer, per ship to, per carrier, whatever you want to do. We can also attach a copy of the packing slip or the invoice or the order confirmation to this email as a PDF. So if you want to PDF the invoice up and send it to them at the same time, that's all automatic. And one of the really nice things about this is this link that we send at the bottom. So this is a tracking link for their package. And instead of sending them to the UPS site, we send them to a site that has your logo on it, your advertising, your links, all of that sort of thing. So now they've got a really nice, branded tracking site they can come to and check out what the status of that shipment is. And this is how you get your marketing guys to pay for your shipping software, because they love this stuff, right? This is all cool stuff for them. So that's the first extra thing we did, was we sent off that email to tell people their stuff is on the way. The other thing that we can do is, if we go into that document, that sales order that we just packaged up, we've come in and we've added in the shipping charges into that document. And here we've got this $218 that we've added in, and that's actually a marked up price. We actually marked up the UPS rate that we get by some percentage on this order. So we can do tons of different rules there based on the customer or the customer type or the campaign, the shipping agent service, like overnight versus regular, based on their order value or the freight value. So all of that criteria, you can then go in and do markups, you can do discounts, you can do flat rates, and you can do, handling charges. So it makes it very flexible to automatically add in those shipping charges directly into the sales order, and you'll never forget to do that. And you can actually start making money on your shipping, because if I add a $1 handling charge that's kind of embedded in there, or I mark up the freight by 1% or whatever, it doesn't take very many shipments before you're actually starting to make money on your outbound freight, instead of probably losing money as most people are today, right? And by the way, if you want to figure out, am I making money or losing money on my freight, we've got reporting for that. So you can actually go in there. We have a dynamic ship analysis app you can get from AppSource for Power BI. So if you're running Power BI, you can install this, and then we can help you. It takes a couple of hours to get it all hooked up to Business Central and everything. Once it's there, I can come in and I can report on all my shipping costs, how much I've spent per location, per carrier, and per customer. And what's also nice about this, spend by customer, is I can go in and I can see, am I making money or losing money by customer or by state or by carrier or by whatever criteria you want to use. Right? So in this case, these guys have spent $4,000 with me on shipping, but I've also lost $800 on those shipping charges when I ship to them. Right? And that might be fine because, they get free freight because they buy so much or something. But it gives us the ability to figure out, are we making money or losing money on our freight charges. At any rate, that's a little bit on the dynamic ship side as far as getting product out the door. Now, there's a lot of other ways you can do it. On this particular one, I just went beep, because I like Roadrunner. But anyway, I went beep, beep, and out popped my label. But if you need to do more detailed packaging, like you need to know which items are in which package, or you're building up pallets for LTL and all of those sorts of things, there's much more detailed packaging capabilities within the system. We calculated the weight here, but I can read the weight from a scale. We can have multiple packages on an order. We have tracking numbers per package. We can do international shipments. We'll generate the customs documentation for it and submit that to the carriers electronically. There's a whole bunch of additional capabilities that we have in here that I didn't really go through in a lot of detail. But if there are any questions about any of this at the end, please let me know. All right, so that's really it. What we covered off there, I'm just going to go back in here. What we covered off in there, just to go to this main screen, was we went through the WMS Express, right? So that was the receiving, the picking. I didn't cover off inventory counts, but that's another important aspect, right? Nobody likes inventory counts, they suck. So being able to do those very quickly and easily with barcoding, with better reconciliation tools and everything is very handy. But on WMS Express, I did the receiving, I can do the picking, I can do some basic shipping from there as well. We used the graphical scheduler here to review our production schedule, or if you want to set up a view that shows you your sales order shipping schedule instead of production or something like that, you can do that as well. I talked about Print Node Connector, which again allows us to go out and do that cloud printing where I hit a button on the handheld, or if I click print in Business Central, that the stuff just automatically goes to the printer. I don't see it print preview in the browser or anything like that. So that's almost a must-have. And then Barcode Generator, of course, all the barcodes I was scanning were generated from Barcode Generator. And then finally, Doc Extender for that drag and drop. So again, all of those are the free applications you have available. Talk to Innovia, they can help you get them installed and set up. And then we also looked at Shop Floor Insight for actually recording our production time as we're working on production orders or jobs within the shop. And by the way, we also support fixed assets, service orders, and the non-productive time, like that sweeping thing that I scanned in that example. A couple of the things I didn't show for production are the SEMEX APS, where if you want automated scheduling, right? So graphical scheduler is great if you want to see your schedule graphically and drag and drop. But if you've got 1,000 production orders out there, you don't want to be dragging and dropping that stuff. You want something that's going to go out there and generate an optimal schedule for your environment. So that's finite capacity scheduling that will look at labor, material, machine availability, all that kind of stuff, and generate a schedule for you. We also looked at product configurator, where I can, build up a bill of materials just by choosing a few options here and there, and it builds up my bill of materials and routing for me automatically. And then dynamic ship is the other one we looked at, which allows us to generate those carrier labels very quickly and easily from within Business Central. And if you're running Warehouse Insight, which is like the big brother of WMS Express, if you're running Warehouse Insight, we can actually also add menu items into Warehouse Insight to generate shipping labels directly from the handheld device as well. All right, so those are the products we looked at today, some of the capabilities, and this bottom row here is what we mostly focused on. And again, those are all available for you right now today for free. And if you have questions about any of these other things that we have up here, again, let Innovia know, and we'll definitely be able to help you out. All right, so with that, I'll leave this slide up as we close off or as you ask any questions. But if you need to contact us, again, contact Innovia. There's a contact us link on their website, and same with on ours. We do also have upcoming webinars as well. If you go to the Insightworks website, and other recorded videos. So if you have questions about any of these products or any of the ones I haven't shown you, you can usually find a video of those on our website or check out our YouTube channel as well. All right, with that, I'm not sure if there's any questions, Angie.
Thanks, Mark. No questions have come through at the moment. If anybody does have any, please feel free to go ahead and get them typed in, and we'll get them addressed.
All right.
I don't see anything coming through, Mark, so I believe we can go ahead and wrap up.
Excellent.
Well, thank you, Mark, for presenting, and for everyone who is on today's webinar, or if you're watching on demand, we thank you for taking the time out to join us.
Yes, thanks very much, everybody, and I hope we will be speaking again soon.
All right, well, we do have new training workshops for you and your team members to attend. Visit our training workshop page at innovia.com/workshops for more information and to register for the training workshop that fits your role. And we do have more webinars coming up. We have one next Tuesday with Continia, the most integrated way to accounts payable automation. And on Thursday, the 16th, we have improved Zetadox delivery, capture, and expenses for Business Central with Equisys. So check out our website, and that's innovia.com/events for more information and to get registered. And don't forget about our podcast. We have our Innovia Conversation that our hosts, Steve Waltz and Jeff Pergolski, have provided a lot of different podcast platforms, one of which I believe, Mark, you have been on one before, if I'm correct?
I have. I ruined it, I'm sure.
No, you didn't. So you can check that out at innovia.com/podcast, and you can check out the selection and subscribe so you'll get registered for all those new episodes that come out. And fall is approaching, which means conference time. So check out our conference page, and that's innovia.com/conferences to learn more about all the conferences we will be attending this fall. All right, well, we thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you soon on another Innovia webinar. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.